Hey everybody, this is Doa, and do you know what time it is? That's right, it's another edition of Breaking the Caster Curse, and today we're actually going to see a TvT. I don't remember the name of my opponent, but I think I'm going to find out fairly soon as we see him at some point in this game. But yeah, Breaking the Caster Curse, as if you've been following, I'm basically trying to make it to the Diamond League, which I guess is like second from the best now because there's this Master League or whatever they have. Kind of some mystery about how one exactly gets into Master League. There's some debate on whether it's MMR. I think it's mostly based on MMR, but there's some other things going on. As we see myself build my first supply depot, and to be honest, TvT is not my best matchup right now, and I think you'll see that a little bit later. I have some unique problems in TvT is what I guess what I'll put it as. So yeah, we're gonna watch those. Hopefully it's slightly educational. This is a chance for me to kind of I guess kind of go over my own play, and a chance for you to sort of I don't know, laugh at my play and just kind of hopefully have some fun, maybe learn a little bit, learn a thing or two as well. One thing I'm trying to, or what I'd like to focus a little bit more on, is my building placement. As you can see, that supply depot is kind of just in the middle of nowhere. I mean, will it matter in the end? Who knows? You know, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So if something can potentially matter in a game, you know, it's good to put a little bit of thought into it. So that's one thing I'd like to do, is, you know, kind of put my buildings in a more sort of thought out place. As if I have a game that gets in the mid, if I have a game that gets into the mid game, sometimes my base can get a little bit cluttered, and so yeah, like the SimCity a little bit better. And there's my opponent. What is his name? I have to move the mouse pointer and find out. Alright, I'm going to break my rule. I'm going to click on it for just a second. It's Chen7. Chen7? Alright, well, whatever. Chen7 is my opponent here, my Terran enemy, and also a fellow Terran friend on the road to Diamond, I guess you could say as well. Since we've last talked, or since you've last watched one of these Breaking the Caster Curse, I have moved up 10 whole points in my league. That's right, I am now 30th in my Platinum League. Oh boy. And so we see his SCV mercifully gouging my SCV to death. Ouch, man. Brutal. Doing a little bit of scouting there as well, but I think I will deny it fairly quickly. Yeah, the SCV will die. You can see me putting up a bunker as well. That SCV had better die. Yeah, you see me putting up a bunker as well. As you noticed when I scouted his base, I saw 2 barracks. So as my build is going to be a little bit more gas heavy, I'll tell you what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on dropping him. This is the TvT opening. Well, it's similar to the TvT opening that I usually do these days. But in most cases, if I see those 2 barracks, I'll just throw up a bunker and put some Marines inside it too, just to make sure I'm safe from any sort of early Marine Marauder pressure. You know, I'll make sure that there's a few SCVs that are going to be prepared to go over and repair if need be. You can see I just randomly grabbed 4 SCVs and put them to 6 on my hotkey bar, so that if I do need to repair an emergency, I don't need to go back and box them. I can just hit 6, send them to repair. You can also see me getting my factory right now. And so far, I'm doing pretty well on not getting supply blocked. It looks like I do need... There's my supply depot just going down. That's good. I was looking at the supply, and it was at 23. That's about 1 later than I normally put that supply depot down. So I guess I may have been a little bit distracted by that SCV as well. And that's one of the really tough things, is to not let distractions mess up your opening. And for Terran, this can come in the form of a lot of different things. Of course, the common one is harassment to your guys that are building buildings. We see I'm getting a tech lab on the factory. I'm also putting down my starport as well. Now, in most cases, what I end up doing is doing a drop with a very quick siege mode on my opponent's base behind their mineral line. And here's something, speaking of interruptions, here comes 2 Reapers here, and when's the last time you really saw Reapers in TvT? This is one of those things that happens when well, I guess in my case, I cast a lot of really high-level games. I practice against a lot of really high-level players. My TvT practice partner, I guess you could say, is like a 2,300-point Master League player right now. So, I mean, I generally play against people that are doing a lot more standard builds. You can see I cleaned up those Reapers pretty quickly. I didn't really worry about it. But, as you notice, I didn't put guys back in gas. Ah! That is the most annoying thing, and it works so well. I mean, I scanned just to see what he has too, and he does too have those barracks and a factory. So 2 barracks with a tech lab and a factory. Not a very standard TvT opening, I guess you could say. And there I'm getting my second gas a little bit later than I would anticipate. And I've decided to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to do a drop with regular old Hellions instead, and I'm not even going to go for the pre-igniter upgrade. I'm just going to drop some Hellions in his base and see if I can cause some damage. Nothing at all wrong with that. I'm anticipating a little bit of a push, so I'm going to put down a second bunker there as well. And, you know, once again, when I saw those Marines and everything like that, saw the tech labs, I assumed he's getting stim, assume he's getting combat shields. I've never really run into this opening before, so, you know, we're going to have to see what exactly he's planning on doing. But look, again, my left gas, nobody in it. It's terrible. I don't notice that for a long time, so that screws up your build right there. And if you are ever attacking someone's base, kill off the guys in gas first, because a lot of people will forget to check. You can see him taking the Xel'Naga Tower for me right now with a couple of Marines. I'm not too worried about that at this point. Not really something I'd want to dedicate my force for. Also, another thing that sometimes happens is when someone does take out your SCV or your whoever you have at the tower, that's a pretty good indicator that they might be pushing fairly soon. As you can see, I had my Marines jump into the bunker right there as well. And yeah, so things are progressing right along. I lower and lift a supply depot just for fun. Fourth Hellion pops out right as I have enough to put into that medevac, and I'm going to send out my drop. Now, I know he has a Xel'Naga Tower, so I'm actually going to send them out the long way, and it seems like it takes a long way. I already have my drop pegged on his mini-map there, just so I don't need to worry about remembering when my medevac gets to his base. It'll automatically drop off the Hellions. That's kind of a helpful little trick I've been doing. And so yeah, it may seem like I'm sending my medevac around in kind of a long path, but the point is on Lost Temple in these close ground positions like this, I would never want to send it the other way around, because I'd be flying right over his natural. You know, if he expanded or something like that, he would see it coming. So better to take the extra couple seconds, in my opinion, and fly it around this top view. Just to, you know, that top part of the map, just to make sure that he's not going to see it coming at all, as it's pretty unlikely that he's got anyone up there. And so at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, so what am I going to do now? I've got the drop on the way. Okay, he scans me, he sees what I've got, and I think I put down a command center. No, instead I'm just going to put down a barracks, apparently. That might have supposed to be a command center. I think I might have misclicked there, actually, to be honest with you. But I played this game a couple days ago, so I can't really remember. So I move in. He has some turrets, and my medevac comes to keep watch over my Hellions, but unfortunately gets taken up. Nice Gosu micro right there. And the Hellions go after the SCVs. I see those Marines immediately make a run for it. I know my Hellions are faster, so I can probably go around there and handle that fairly well. Putting my tank in position in case there's a push. And I see one tank there, and oh, the SCVs! Yes! So I go after the SCVs, and I end up being a little bit successful. All those SCVs dying, I managed to outmaneuver the Marines fairly well. Whoa! All the last 4 SCVs getting taken out, so now I'm like, yeah! If I had, like, suspender straps, my thumbs would be in them, kind of like snapping them out, looking pretty pleased with myself. As my impromptu drop has managed to kill nearly all of his gatherers. I scan again just to see what he has, to see if he's moving out. A lot of players would just be like, well, I just lost all my gatherers, so I'm going to go in and attack him, I guess. I've had people also GG in situations like that, which I would not have complained if he would have GG'd as well. But no, he's the attack really doesn't seem to be coming, so I'm a little bit confused here. But I'm like, alright, well, first I'll get supply block. That's step 1. Alright, put down a supply depot to eliminate that eventually. And then I guess build a couple more barracks. And at this point, I'm kind of like, well, I guess I'm just going to macro up for a while and then roll in and kill him, because I know I'm way ahead. So at this point, my concentration is on defense. As you can see, I'm moving another siege tank in there as well, just to make sure that I have some defense when the push comes. I'm really, really expecting a push to come right now. Just because in most games, I mean most higher level games, if something like that happens, you know, unless you decide to just GG right there, really the only other thing to do is just attack. I mean, not a lot of people would try to rebuild their SCV count. I think I looked at the production tab. I'm not going to show it because I'm showing my own view with here. Oh, and here's another drop. This is another issue I've been having in TvT, is I've got a hard time handling drops. As you can see, my siege tanks are taking it out on my SCVs. They don't like them too much. So he pretty much drops all the Marines that he has. I move away a lot of my SCVs. I'm trying to lure him into range of my siege tanks, but it's just not working. And so I try to chase him off with a couple Marines, but with the medevacs, he's going to be able to easily outlast my Marines. Finally get to pull him back just a little bit. There I am, finally moving a siege tank as well. So you can really see how I'm kind of in panic mode a little bit right now. I really don't know how to handle this, as I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. Trying to move into position, and he's doing so much damage. This is so embarrassing. But don't worry, it gets worse. I do move my command center back into position. Didn't want to lose that, as I realize now somehow I didn't build a second command center. I also have 0 minerals. He takes on my engineering bay, which, interesting note there, I did build an engineering bay, but then I didn't build any turrets. That's another thing, is that with this drop type play, It's good to get up a couple turrets just in case you get counter dropped like this. This opening, the biggest problem I have usually is with counter drops. And I have had other TvTs where I have just basically won with the drop, or I've killed all their SCVs with the drop and then kind of slow tank pushed in there. But I felt that this game had a little bit more educational value to it than that. And yeah, I'm like, alright, well, I killed his drop. I pretty much know that's all he has, so I'm just going to move out and try to win the game. And that is a stupid thing to do. What I'm about to do not do in your own TvTs. Or at least don't do it like I'm going to do it. It's okay that I'm moving out, I suppose, to kill him. I mean, that's not a terrible thing. What am I looking at right now? Alright, whatever. I guess base looking good, whatever. So I move out. I believe I have stim at this point as well. So I've got a, pretty decent army. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a throat thing going on. So I'm kind of hoping that I can move in and end the game right here. And really, there's no reason to. I mean, there's something that I've said in my cast before. I think, especially in some of my live casts, I see he's got a couple siege tanks in a bunker. I know I have a much bigger force, but those siege tanks are a bit of a concern. And so here's another thing that I'm not very good at. I used to be a big time Marine Marauder player. I never built tanks. Like, honestly, I never ever built a single tank. I didn't like them. I still don't really like them that much. They're slow. I mean, I don't like slow units. So really slow methodical play is not really my forte. So I'm trying to set up like a tank line sort of thing. I really have not a lot of experience doing something like this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can use the medevac to get vision. So there you go. Medevac to get vision. I take out this tank. And I'm like, sweet, oh, I don't take out the tank. Oh, that's just painful. Man, and I'm like, oh, great. Okay, so move this tank forward. All right, siege up the tank. Maybe I can, like, slowly push in there. But I know he has a medevac, too, as I can see it right there. So his tanks are going to have about the same range. So I decide the intelligent thing to do, of course, would be to move all my Marines right into the siege tank line of fire. Great job there, Doa. Nice micro. But, yeah, so I go back to my base here. It's time to expand fairly soon, as I am kind of running out of minerals. So at this point, I mean, I feel like I know I have enough to beat him, but I'm just not sure how to use what I have to do that. And that's kind of the really sad part of it, is that I should be able to beat this. There is no reason why I should lose this game. But I'm just kind of stuck. I've got these units, and I don't really have a lot of experience with using this type of unit composition. And at this point in my game, I'm kind of thinking to myself, oh, why didn't I just build lots of Marines and Marauders? They're so much easier to just run around and stim and A-move. And I'm like, no, shut up, Doa. You are going to be a better StarCraft 2 player, and you're not going to be a better StarCraft 2 player unless you force yourself to do things you're not comfortable with, like moving your units into range of these siege tanks. Oh, no, here it goes again. Oh, Doa, why are you doing this? No, no, don't move into the bunker. No, you already lost one siege tank. So many Marines getting killed by the siege tanks. He's repairing them too. No, Doa, what are you doing? Why? Oh, Doa. Doa. Why are you doing this? Obviously, he had a big mineral stockpile. This is the Platinum League. Could build lots of Marines again. Oh, and there we go. There I am losing my entire army of superior force. He ended up having a little bit more Marines than I thought he did, but still, I really should have pushed a little bit better. I felt I had lots of other options. So now I'm like, I meant to type wow, but I ended up typing cock, QOQ. And yeah, so at this point, you just have that like feeling in the pit of your stomach. And as you can see in the chat, I can't believe I did that. I'm like, my brain is screaming to me, this is a terrible idea. Why are you doing this? But my hands are saying, let's kill him. And you can see how that results. So, I know I have a not much of a chance of, well, I mean, I've lost an SCV, a lot of SCVs from that drop. I don't know why I'm moving my command center over. So at this point, I'm kind of like, well, I guess I'll keep playing because I technically haven't lost completely yet. Yeah, so that's, at this point, you can hear from the tone of my voice just how happy I am about how this game is going. It started off so great. I mean, I killed all his SCVs with my Hellions. I killed all of them except for like 3 or 4 literally, and I had like 30. And then he was able to drop me. I handled it really badly. And then I kind of panicked and was like, oh, I'll kill him. Oh yeah, come on, Mule, you don't get to be lazy. You have to mine too. Good Mule. come in mind. Hopefully you survive your trip over to the base. Hopefully you don't run out of batteries or whatever it is that causes mules to fall apart. You know, honestly, the warranties for mules must be pretty bad. I think I just GG at this point. Yeah, you can see I'm not even moving my camera around anymore. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Yeah, and see, this is how I kind of handle things, is I usually have to say out loud, or at least in chat, what I did wrong to make myself feel a little bit better. Just to be like, okay, I'm honestly not that bad. Oh, and here comes his army there. I think I handle it though, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so I'm able to barely take that out. And but I'm like, I don't even care anymore. I'm so unhappy. Oh, there's another drop in my main. So there you go. I left the game. Oh, I didn't even GG. Oh my gosh. That is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm casting this. Well, if you're out there, Chien Sivin, GG. GG. Oh, there's another drop right here too. Oh, that's embarrassing. Well, here's the thing. You know, we're all going to have games like this, and it hurts really bad, and let me tell you, it hurts even worse to cast it for thousands of people to watch. But, you know, I'm going to do it because, you know, we have to admit we all have games like this, and you got to go back and watch the replays. You got to analyze what you did wrong, what you could do better, and from that, only from games like this are you going to get better. If I would have just walked in and killed him, I wouldn't have learned anything. But, you know, I felt I learned a little bit about how to be less aggressive when I don't need to be aggressive, and how to be a little bit more cautious, and I really would have won this game. So hopefully you learned a valuable lesson from my utter humiliating defeat in this game. More breaking the caster curse coming in the future, hopefully a little bit happier games from me. But anyway, if you want to play a game against me at Doa234, let me know. I'll play some games against you. May not be terribly challenging for you if you're a Terran player, but hey, you know, we'll have some fun, whatever. Anyway, keep playing StarCraft 2, guys. I know I will, and I'll see you on the next cast.